Good morning. Happy Friday. It is 8 o'clock a.m. in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm having a beautiful, very blessed morning. I feel so refreshed. I feel great. If you're listening to this live, or if you come back and listen to this live, you are definitely blessed because God's blessed you with another day. This is my morning motivation live. I'm scheduled to do this live every morning, Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. And I've been a little off track this week, the past few days. So I haven't done one in a couple days, and very, I want to become consistent and very disciplined with doing these lives on time so that I can build up an audience for these lives and be able to do interaction. So right now I don't do too much interaction with the morning motivation. I just come on and speak and just give some positive words, create a positive vibe for whoever is listening or whoever comes back and restreams this live. Also, as well, I do have two other podcasts that I do, and I will be streaming those live really soon with guests. And so if you're listening to this morning, subscribe to my channel, share, like, I'm trying to jump in the algorithm as well. I may not be really big in the YouTube world, but I am an artist. I am a composer and a TV producer. So I do have um I have a good following. I have a huge following. I got a lot of music, and a lot of my work as an artist is out there. Art is not just music. Art is the ability to create things from a vision. So that's what art is. And I have it out there, so definitely subscribe so I can do more on YouTube and, share and like so that I can stay in the algorithm. I've been talking a lot about mental illness and checking on your mental health, taking care of your mental health lately. And someone commented on one of my videos, and I appreciate it. Left a very positive comment and said, if you're in a dark place, I hope you come out of it and you're better. And I just want to clear that up. And mental health is nothing to be ashamed of, but I'm not having any mental health challenges. I create topics and I speak on things that God puts on my heart for me to speak on. So if there is anyone that is going through any type of mental health crisis or anyone that's battling mental health. I mean, we've all gone through some sort of depression. That's anybody, that's even me. But I'm cool, I'm good right now. I'm just speaking for other people. I'm advocating positive things. So, no, I'm not going through any type of mental health, anything. I'm just giving positive words to my listeners and people that come back and view the content. But depression is real, and stress is considered a mental health challenge as well. PTSD, there's so many people that are going through so many things, mental health challenges, and they're ashamed to get help, they're ashamed to talk to someone. And especially in the Black and African American community, a lot of times it's frowned down on. So when you're having mental health issues and you tell someone, they think you're crazy, or they look at it like, just kind of like looking down on you, and that's not cool. So I am speaking on that. I have been a lot this week, and I will be next month as well. We'll be doing some live shows, and I will have a panel where people, can talk and live chat and stuff like that. But, mental health is real. I titled this live Happy Friday because Fridays is the end of the week, and you get to look at everything that you've accomplished for the week, and then enjoy your weekend. Even if you're somebody that works on the weekends, you've made your accomplishments for the week. I have anyway. On Fridays I'm happy because I like to reflect back on things that I've done and accomplishments that I have made throughout the week. Yay, it's Friday. And a lot of people get paid on Friday too. I'm an entrepreneur, so I'm not in that payship of oh, I get paid on Friday. But as an entrepreneur, you have to work so much harder and be consistent and, very disciplined, because you have to make your money. You have to create money and opportunities. You're not going to, per se, receive a paycheck every Friday or receive a paycheck every Monday. So, and in a way, it's a good thing because, as well, it gives you financial freedom, and it gives you opportunity to be able to create money and income, and different things for yourself. So there can be some upsides and some downsides to it. But I'm an advocate for entrepreneurship, and I'm always going to tell anybody, start your own business, create different streams of income. You can't live off of that one 9 to 5. And even if you are in the 9 to 5, there's nothing wrong with it, but create other financial opportunities for yourself, whether it's a side hustle, or whether it is a business, a small business. That small business one day can become a large business. So you have to create other opportunities for yourself, other streams of income. You never know when something will happen where you won't have that income anymore. One of my best friends from back home, I remember when she worked for like a communications company, and she showed up on time every day, went to work Monday through Friday, and she really liked her position there. So I believe she was employed there for almost a year. And she went to work one day and the doors were locked and no one was there. And so what happened was the company basically was in some sort of financial problems, and they just shut the company down. No one got paid. Um, no one got a last check or anything, and they didn't give her any type of response. Like, that was it. She just went to work one day and the doors was shut. It's just like, you never know where life is going to take you. So you need to create other streams of income for yourself. Working, there's nothing wrong with it. But if you don't create other opportunities and if you don't invest your money, you'll be in trouble one day because there's nothing, no job is guaranteed to you. They can fire you at any time. In Georgia is a state where they can fire you and they don't have to have an explanation for you. Like they can just fire you for no reason. And so you want to invest your money. And if you're somebody that's looking to build wealth, you're looking to be rich in your future, is definitely not going to happen with a 9 to 5. Generally, a 9 to 5 pays your bills, and it allows you to live either comfortably or not, but it's definitely not going to help you build wealth. You sure can invest in your retirement and pull that out at one point, but it's not going to build your wealth. You're not going to get rich from working any job, even if you are making 100 or 200,000 a year. And these days, that's good money to the average, but that's not a lot of money because there are a lot of entrepreneurs out here that are making that much a month or every few months. So, and it can be done. So definitely, brainstorm, figure out what business, is good for you, what type of business you would like to go into that will financially benefit your family. I know people that want to start businesses and are afraid. They're afraid of, because their 9 to 5 is their security blanket. So it's like, okay, if I stop doing this, then, this can happen. A lot of people are afraid of the what if and how. And, how am I going to do this? How am I going to fund the business? And there's so many ways to fund your business these days. There's a lot of people on YouTube and TikTok, different platforms that are not only giving courses but are giving free information on how to start your business and how to obtain business funds and different things like that. So there's so many ways. These days there's just not an excuse to not be able to start your own business unless that's just not your forte. Everyone is not a leader, and every person is not a good businesswoman or a good businessman. And so you may want to concentrate on investments. I like crypto. I'm really into crypto. Um, there's a lot of apps where you can, get off into trading. That's like a whole nother thing. A lot of people think that's hard. It's not difficult at all. But I really like crypto, and I like predictions, and I like putting in money on that. I'm pulling it back out. But I think crypto and stock is definitely they're definitely two good things for you to invest in. And also real estate. And if real estate is not something that you can afford to jump into, there are always different investing options that you can Google or YouTube. Everything is on YouTube. Everything is on YouTube. Everything is on TikTok. There's so many how to's and there's so many videos that are informatic on things, how can I do this? How can I do that? Anything that I've ever wanted to look up, I've never not been able to look on the internet and find it. The internet is so resourceful. So, um, you know, Google what's best for you to invest in year 2026, because year 2026 has to change. It has to change for all of us, no matter where you are in your life, whether you're in a good place, a bad place, you're mediocre, you feel like you're doing great financially, you're being challenged, or you're not, your finances are great. Either way, there's always more room for you to scale up and to elevate in your life. So 2026 is that year for you, for all of us, And for me, 2025, it was phenomenal. Like it was a great year. I learned so much. There were so many things that God showed me. And a lot of what I learned in 2025. And I don't want to say learn because a lot of times we know things and we don't do anything about it. Like we know that there are people in our life that do not belong in our life, or there are people in our life that are no good for us. But we keep those people around. A lot of times it has to do with time spent and it has to do with blood relation. A person could be bad in your life, but you feel like they're blood related. Um, they're my sister or my cousin or just whatever. So I'm going to still deal with this person. I'll fall back and then I'm going to deal with them again. I'm speaking in third person. A lot of people do that. And then you have other people that feel like, well, I've known him or her for 10 years, or I've been in a relationship with this person for 10, 15 years. So I don't want to leave the relationship. We've known each other since high school or college. I don't want to leave the relationship. Those things are not good because a lot of times that's what's keeping you stagnant in life and that's what's keeping your success stagnant. I experienced that. So in 2025, God revealed to me a lot of things about people and places that were in my environment. And there were people that I had to let go in my life that were blood related, but I knew meant me no well. Everyone that you're blood related to is not your family. And so because you're blood related with someone, it doesn't mean that you have to keep them in your life. That's toxicity. If you have a toxic relationship with someone that you're related to, that you consider your family, and you continue to hold on to that relationship, it's going to hold you back from things that you're doing, like your goals, your purpose, is going to hold you back. And every year it's going to hold you back more and more when you continue on toxic relationships with people. And I call any relationship that presents negativity, I relate to that as being toxic. That's a toxic relationship. And there were a few family members that I had that were very toxic, um, didn't like didn't like me. Don't think because you're kin to someone that they like you. People don't like you just because you are blood related, for different reasons. And for me, I'm different. I don't want to say black sheep, but I'm different, so I do things that, maybe the average person wouldn't do, um, as far as like not really focusing on the 9 to 5. I'm always working to create other opportunities for myself. And because I left home, I left my hometown to pursue something different. I was looked at as an outsider. And so it kind of started from there. I'm not really going to get into that and focus on that because that is behind me. But a lot of times you could want things, and because you take a chance on yourself, other people, they fear taking a chance on themselves, and they may want to do what you're doing, but they may not have the courage to do that. And so they'll start to dislike you, or they'll start to put down whatever it is that you're doing, or try to tell you that, oh, you can't do that. Now, I experienced that in the beginning of my career, but as they see me go on and continue to do the things that God put on my heart for me to do, they left that alone. They never, uh, um, they didn't continue to tell me, hey, you can't do this, you can't do that, because of that. After a while, I was listening, but what you have to do, you have to reposition yourself around individuals that either want the same things as you, they have a purpose, because everyone around you is not going to have the same focus. But as long as they understand what purpose is, they understand that they have a purpose. Because people that are around you, if they don't have a purpose, they're going to frown on you and your focus on your purpose. You don't need people your environment. You are your surroundings. If you want to know what your future looks like, take a look around you. Are you around lazy people? Are you around people that sleep all the time? Or people that always have an excuse about something? That irritates me to my soul. Always have an excuse of why they can't do something, why they can't get something done. Something is too hard. And it's just like the tongue is so powerful. If that's what you're telling yourself, then it's going to be too hard. But there are a lot of people that are just downright lazy. Like some people just they talk about it, but they're not going to be about it. Like people will talk about what they're going to do and show no actions at all. You better get from around those people because and look back and months have gone by and then those months will turn into years and then you haven't accomplished anything. And it's all due to the people who are around you. And like I said, it could be blood relation. That doesn't mean you don't owe anybody anything in life. You don't have to keep them around you just because you're blood related and you know that these individuals are not good for you. What I did long ago was anyone that did not support my career, did not support the brand that I was building, and I don't mean like support where you're out there holding on flyers up. That's not what it is, but just knowing that you support your loved one. Okay, um, you're on social media. You have people on social media. They'll see your posts. Now these are people that are close to you. These are your friends. These are your family members. You don't know they're looking at your posts and they're scrolling right on by because they see that you are working on something outside of the average. You are working to become someone greater than what you are. A lot of people can't stand that, especially if they're stagnant in their life. So I believe it. So many people on social media, mainly um, my Facebook, and if they follow me, okay, that's fine. But because I'm a public figure, they can Google and see if I'm on another platform. And believe it or not, it may sound like a big stretch, but there are people that do that. You can block them on one platform and then follow you on another and say, "Oh, you're nobody. You're nobody for me to follow." But they're really keeping up with you, and they're really sitting back watching you because they want to see if what you are doing is going to turn out to be something. They don't want you to. They don't want you to make it. They don't want it to turn out to be anything. But they're not going to support you, but they're going to sit back and they're going to watch. So they make it on your story and watch. They're not going on the timeline and like anything. I have a family member that would ask me to borrow money, talk to me, um, oh, I love you, and that. But behind closed doors, she really hated me. And she would talk about me to other family members, talk about me to other people. And then behind the scenes, she would travel with me in private. Like she would get on my story, oh, this is beautiful, but never like anything on my timeline. Then message me, hey, how are you? I love you. But in the public forum, because we live in different states. So publicly, not like innocent, behind the scenes, asking me to borrow my money. Hi, I do. This is a family member. I cut off. You're not going to deal with me in secret. And the reason that people do that is because they're actually talking about you to other people. So the people that they've been dogging you out to so bad, they don't want them to know that they're dealing with you. Okay. So that's the thing. She stayed super close to me, but she really hated me. And so I cut that off. You this year, I cut that off. That person will never talk again because there's been so many things done behind my back by that person, but then in my face was something else that you really hate me. I don't want anyone around me like that. I don't want to deal with anyone like that. I don't want to associate myself with you. If you secretly hate me, if you're talking about me, and then, especially when you're family, that's bad. But you say that you really love me, really wholeheartedly. This person, she hates me for who I am and what it is that I do. So she's one of those people, excuse me, that will project her fears on other people. There's things that she wants to do with her life that she doesn't have the courage to do. So I'm doing these things. So she doesn't like me. And for whatever other reason, I really don't focus on that anymore. And I hate that it took me so long to be able to remove people out of my life because I surely know that there are places that God wants to take me to. But when we start keeping people in our company that can't go with us, that don't align with our purpose, and that don't mean us any good, He's not going to take you there. He's not going to open those doors. He's not going to present those opportunities to you. And then whatever it is that you're doing, whether it's a career, lifestyle goal, anything that you're working for that changes your life for the better, you have to be disciplined and you cannot have people around you that are not seeing you, secretly hating you, talking about you. She was talking about me to my child behind my back. I would see people that I haven't seen in years, and they would tell me she was talking about me. It was ridiculous. And then when we associate ourselves, she loves me. She needs to borrow money. She can't wait to see me, things like that. And so I knew these things, and I wasn't saying anything to her. So on my end, that meant I was being fake. And I told myself, like, I'm not a fake person. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I don't want to deal with you. I don't want to deal with someone that doesn't genuinely love me. I don't deserve that. Why would I associate myself with someone that's talking me behind my back? I don't need that. Once again, that, you know, you hold on to people because you're blood related and the time spent. No, don't do that. Let those people go. And I felt so much better, because when you can be real in situations and you can just be real in life, like you'll feel so much better. 2026, I'm not doing that. I'm not gonna be fake. Um, I'm not because being fake, if I'm tolerating your bad energy and I know that I don't want to, you can't change others' perceptions, opinions, and feelings about you. That person never genuinely loved me. She never really liked me. You can be kin to someone, they don't have to like you. You know, sad to say, there's parents that don't like their children. And that's another show that I'm going to do. Mothers and estranged daughters. There's mothers that don't like their daughters. I had a very strained relationship with my mom. So that's one reason that I'm going to do a show on that topic. There are a lot of women that have went through that, and I spent all of my teenage years in my early 20s trying to really bond and connect with my mother. And, one day I had learned, just as you live, you'll learn your thing with them. I learned as life went on that you cannot change how a person feels about you because a person is blood related. That does not mean that they love you. Unfortunately, every parent does not love their children, or they may love them and not like them. I think a lot of times those parents were not taught how to love or didn't love themselves, and maybe their parents didn't love them. So a lot of times it goes much deeper than what we know. But because I and my own responsibilities, that was something that I could not continue to dwell on for years because I tried. So after trying to have a relationship with your parent for so many years and they don't want to have it, I came to the conclusion that you cannot change a person's heart the way a person feels about. There are plenty of parents that do not love their children, um, children or adult children, and you cannot change that. You can't, I used to try and take her shopping, take her to lunch. There is nothing that you can do to make a person have a relationship with you. They don't want to, they don't want to. There's nothing that you can do. So the best thing that you can do for yourself is move forward. And that's why I speak on that a lot in my podcast. Stop looking behind you, looking at the past, looking at things that happened. Sure, you acknowledge your past. You take accountability for any roles that you've played in anything that happened in your life because we always play a major role in things that happen if we just sit back and look. Everything is not everyone else's fault. Even when you're in a toxic or abusive relationship, you have to look, where did you go wrong? You didn't deserve it, but where did you go wrong? I held on, you could have held on to that relationship for too long. We have to take accountability as people when we mess up or when we have something to do with the situation. People that are having financial problems, a lot of times we as people overspend. We're not saving our money, we're not investing, we're not other streams of income. It can be difficult, especially when you're financially strapped, but you have to figure out a way to create other opportunities for yourself. You just have to. If you don't, then your life is going to continue financial struggle. If you are accompanying yourself who don't have financial discipline or financial literacy, you have to accompany yourself or surround yourself around people like that or take time to gain that knowledge and learn some things about financial literacy so that you can get yourself out of that financial bind. As well, if you're dealing with toxic individuals or individuals who mean you know well, you're continuing to engage in relationships with someone in your family who does not care anything about you or they're against you or you have a toxic family, you can disconnect. Or that family is attached trauma, you can disconnect. You do not have to deal with a family member because you're blood related, because sometimes that's all it is. Blood relation and family is not all the time the same thing. Because you're blood related, it does not mean you're family. It does not mean that that person loves you. So it's okay to disconnect. It is. It a disconnect. And that's why I had such a great year 2025, especially the close. At the end of 2025, God revealed so many things to me. And I closed the doors on people that were not supposed to be there. Sometimes it's a time, it's a time lapse. Everyone is not meant to be in your life forever. Some people are in your life for a season. And when that season comes, it's God presenting you with lessons, life lessons. And it's for you to learn and be able to move to the next chapter of your life. So I feel like the year of 2025 was the year of instruction. And 2026 is the year of assignment. And this is the year that if you're not, you should be walking in your blessing, in your purpose, and you should be flourishing, creating new money, and building your wealth. If you've already done that, then you should just be walking on a cloud. 2026 is going to be a great year. Thank you for listening. Happy Friday and have a wonderful day.